And they were well within the range for a field goal attempt.
Reason he's able to get there, two reasons. One, he's Myles Garrett, of course, but two, the coverage.
This is spectacular. The get off, the lean, Lou, and then the ability to get home.
Look, that's Terrell Austin right there.
Nichols.
And Nichols meet at the quarterback.
Wow.
Wide. Watch him come back inside. There you go. And there's a guard waiting on him. He takes that guard and power lifts him into the court.
They didn't try one of those like shallow crossers with blockers in front or something to get the ball out of his hands quickly to avoid a negative play.
Assignment for any center in the league. Look at those two guards. Look at the space in those two A gaps, the space between the center and the guards.
He'll kind of take a swing and miss against Reddick. He's going to hit that punch, and Reddick's going to go right around him and get up just high enough.
Well, watch him right here at the bottom of your screen. He's going to go fake speed up the field, and then bam, spin right back inside. See, it catches him.
Only second down and save yourself the time and opportunity. Time and time again, it's come off that right side of the Dallas defense.
All right, this is a bad man right here, and I'm blowing him up for a reason. Watch what he does to the tackle, Jones. He takes a piece of the running back, then throws Jones out the club.
We're going to run the reverse and get right around him. And
well, there's Hutch right there on the outside. Watch the rip and the tight hoop, just turning it. And I love that aspect. Instead of going
Ripping off the edge, a guy with that kind of speed and one of the most athletic tackles trying to hang on.
But this is all about just relentlessness. You keep coming. It's a matchup on Ricard first, and then Morgan Moses. Lamar holds it a little bit.
Effort that time by Bosa. Watch this. Not only does he overwhelm the Bears in their offensive line, but watch the diving sack here just before Page.
8 straight games now with a sack.
I love when he answered a question about who he lines up on third down. He said he goes through.
when you get to second down in this situation, you do the boot.
He also got away with a face mask. I think he reaches that big hand up there, and let's take a look. Oh, it might be on his collar. Right?
Out here tonight, Andrew Van Ginkel going right around Calvin Anderson. The course of his career, when the moments are their biggest, he comes through, and that's the matchup.
And he is now the Steelers franchise all-time leader in that category, all by himself.
Well, you see how he's able to just bend and get around.
We're going to see Max Crosby. Watch this guy. The guard overshot the landmark right there. Blake Brandel.
Well, they brought Spillane, 41 on the blitz, so that creates the one-on-one opportunity for Coons, who, by the way, has just been...
Feel this. Watch the speed. He goes up and under. And
a really good job. I've said that Darisaw has held him in check, and for the most part, he has.
And then a tackle, and it doesn't even matter. Chip, bump, whatever, that's not going to happen, and Freeland's got it.
Well, he was pretty clear all week. He said, I'm tired of being at 13 sacks. He's been at 13 and a half the last couple years. Well,
It's just the first step, right? I mean, it is just Bosa's ability to get on these big tackles, and then he dips it.
When they motion the back out, they leave Aaron Donald one-on-one with Bredesen, right guard, number 68.
You can feel it up here.
wow, this was an outstanding rush by Parsons. I want to bring Gene in here and ask him right there at the end.
Before it was declined. His sack of his career.
Crosby declined it as soon as he got up. You see him just attack that right.
But Montez Sweat is having himself a day.
He's going to start upfield and get inside, and then you're going to see Jerome Ford miss on the chip right there. He chips his own guy.
wow, just watch the hand right here. Watch his inside hand. This is perfect. Right there, hand swipe on the outside hand.
This is where, Carolina really needs that help. Their defense had some pieces in there. We saw Taylor Decker get back
On an island against the best pass rusher in the league, and he's doing anything he can. This time, hands up in the face and pulls the helmet off.
you're going to see here, they put him on the left-hand side of the offense. The rookie Chandler Zavala, the left guard.
Working on Morgan Moses. Starts with his get-off. He just captures that edge, and look at the spin move. Remember the great Dwight Freeney? Nobody better than Dwight Freeney coming back. Wow, what a great play.
and throw a drop back pass.
You're just asking for trouble on this one. Guaranteed Press Taylor would say, yeah, I should have had someone on that.
You see Aaron Donald right here against Cordell Volston, and watch him set him up and then arm over inside. Whoop! See you later. He splits it. Karras can't get over there fast enough.
Yeah, no chance that time for Illuminor on this one. Watt goes right around him, a little slow getting out of his stance there, but watch what happens.
Watch how fast he gets off the football. Joshua Izudu was late off the ball.
It's his spin move. He's been setting it up. Get up wide. Boom. Spin back under. And that
such a big moment.
Safety.
Just a speed rush right here off of the edge. We spoke about how the outside backers here for Denver got zero pressure on.
309-pound man with that move right there, and I'll tell you, it saved a touchdown.
Well, a lot of stuff going on that side. Sam Williams is there. It looked like he kind of occupied.
Watch this guy. He's an absolute stud. 99 just rips right through a potential.
This looked like a bad business decision. They went and got Orlando Brown.
Comes underneath. Just an excellent job when this defense needed a pull.
Side, just too much speed, good hands there, and then closes.
When you're 16 years into the league, you are not supposed to be able to turn a corner like this. Calais Campbell using the rip move, and
This is just speed right here from Arden Key. He's almost offsides to start, but just goes with the speed rush right around the end. His ability to bend.
Like you go, man, that guy looks like a stud. But what you have is, boy, how did that guy get here so fast? That's exactly what happened right there.
So here's what's happening out here. They have gotten the Bills to turn that way, creating a one-on-one right there between Christian Wilkins, their best interior pass rusher, going against the rookie, Osiris Torrance.
He's going to probably go around you or work back inside. He works back inside, but watch the guard not realize until too late. You know, if you're going to help.
This time he's going to line up, head up over the guard in that up stance and basically just running some type of spinner, little push right there, double hand.
And Fletcher Cox, we talked about him earlier in the evening. He has been sensational. They're going back against Zach Martin, gets the ball out.
How he just swims. The rookie right tackle, Anton Harrison.
Defensive line has a beat on the snap count. You can see they're going silent. Little head nod by the center.
When he sees the Baltimore Ravens, yeah, he does it against everyone. But the Ravens' intensity,
you just don't know where he's going to go. And for an offensive line, and they're playing together for the first time, and they know the history, and they didn't get him blocked well the last time. And
the first time he's ever gotten Geno.
Look at that. Look at all these pick games. Oh, man.
You come over here and you give it a shot, you're going to try and kick out Micah Parsons, but Bredesen's not quite that quick.
19 in 2021, almost at 19.
Watch Crosby.
1921.
You talked about it earlier, James.
That's the big part. You're exactly right, Adam, because you're going to watch. He's got a double team right there, and it's actually the pressure generated.
Williams right against you.
Whoa.
Oh, I got to block him. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, they just beat very, very quickly on the inside, turn loose right to Just.
Of course, you bring in your pass rush specialist, even though he's still getting healthy. Look at him, he's just grabbing on behind. It's just a great tandem. Garrett off of this edge, and then on the other side is Zadarius Smith with power. So you got the speed of Garrett coming off the edge. You've got the power of Zadarius Smith, who's pushing.
I mean, just watch this. Watch his get off and watch his hand use. He has some of the best. He's doing that move every time. He slaps the arm down.
And Kayvon Thibodeau, this is his best move. His feet are so quick and he's so powerful. He gets inside of offensive tackles in a hurry, and he can do that.
Coverages, or at least their coverage personnel. Sauce Gardner is down here to the near side, but you see Johnson getting home on Russell Wilson.
Just watch this spin move back in. He's going to catch him with his back arm right here. Bam! Catch him with the back arm. We used to call that the ninja.
Out of the University of Georgia, who made his presence felt last week and does so again tonight.
Oh, man. Schlotman, the backup center, in for.
And Baltimore tried to chip him, but watch the intelligence of Garrett. Oh, you want two on the outside? I spin inside.
They've been flopping him around like they have done most of the year, and most of the attention's.
But give these guys credit. They got it done. They did. They got it done.
Off the right side, he beats low, number 59. Fortunately for
and Purdy, just you really want to avoid sacks like that. Those are the kind of sacks that knock you out of field goal range. Now you see him.
And the speed to get there. Look how quick he is. And Patrick McCary has no chance to keep him out of the backfield.
Him in the chest and knocks him back. So yeah, I'm going to let you know I'm here, but I'm not going to take a chance on getting a cheap penalty.
It's a loss of 9 on the play.
The ability to adjust and adapt.
Try it again, and here's Watt on the edge. This time they try to attack him, but look at how he just slips inside. They try to double team with the tight end and the tackle, and off of a two.
You get pass happy against this front, it's going to be tough sled, and you just see Fowler. He just
not 3 now for Parsons.
Yeah, watch. They bring pressure. Jaron Kearse off the edge. They send Micah Parsons all the way. He's number 3 of the 3-man.
On these zone read looks, is they want to be able to take away that big playability, whether it's Lamar or they're handing it off.
Because of the pressure, Tua doesn't have enough time to allow that wheel route to develop.
Off the edge comes Cooper. There was a point in time after they gave up that 70-point game in which they let some veterans go. Randy Gregory, Frank.
He is a fantastic player, and Mike McDonald cannot say enough good things about him. But Matabike also gets a great push in the inside.
Collapse pockets right here coming off the edge. Now, they've already got the tight end right there to try to disrupt.
But Chris Jones is so fast to get up the field that Kelsey's not even able to help. You see, immediately he gets up the field, so he's one-on-one on Dickerson, and then he works.
You got to get a chip on him back, but the problem is
able to make the play. He's right there in the middle of your screen. Swim move, one arm over the other, gets it.
Time it was Alan Lazard who had the assignment of trying to get him blocked from right here, and yet nobody does. And the reason that
Micah Parsons gets a lot of the recognition, rightfully so. You see him here working on the interior of this Giants offensive line, and
you're going to see the pocket start to collapse on Tommy DeVito. And what he has to recognize is when that pocket's collapsing, you either have to step up and throw or step up and immediately get out instead.
Everybody who plays, but this time it's going to be Andre James, the center, right in this area here, and once he gets a gap.
And watch number 90, TJ Watt. We know he can rush the passer, but he's a complete football player. Helping chase that.
Patrick McCary bowls right over him, forces Lamar Jackson out of the pocket.
And the man, and they played zone, so everyone's covered on all the crossing routes, and then Hutchinson, who just has that motor.
Last year, and then Rivero comes over and turns it into a 3-4.
Well, he's known for his hands, obviously. Montez Sweat, who came over just a few weeks ago, is really acclimating himself well to Matt Eberflus's system. Such a force, not only against the pass, he does a good job against the run, and I think he opens up other opportunities for these other defensive linemen.
Well, watch Max Crosby. He's going to long arm him right away. Watch him how quickly he gets his hands to his sternum right there. Just a striking blow with the power behind it.
Well, when you talk pass rush in the National Football League, big part of that conversation is Parsons. You see who he's lined up there.
Max Crosby leading the charge, going airborne to stack up the Giants on 4th down.
No, it is very impressive by Jordan Fuller coming down from that safety spot. And there you go. There's the double team on Aaron Donald. He just splits that, keeps working down the line, and helps out.
By the Jets on offense, and watch 97 coming off the edge.
Yeah, Bosa, you can see the internal clock. He goes right after the football when he sees Wilson trying to find somebody down the field.
Brandon Graham kind of loses a little steam here playing with these other rushers, Hassan Reddick and Sweat, but
was able to get the pressure. But then Jermaine Johnson comes in and finishes it off. And
watch the center snap the ball, and then he's got to peel back and deal with Highsmith, who's as good as there is at putting pressure on a quarterback.
It was sack and a loss of 8 and out of field goal range.
They run another game again up front defensively.
With Andre Dillard, who got benched last week but is being forced to play tonight with the injury to the right tackle Hubbard. You can see Highsmith, and we're going to talk about TJ.
Back escape, a lot of pressures all year and today, but he couldn't escape this one. Great job there. Nice little up and under on Terrence Steele, the right tackle.
Which doesn't allow him to step up. That's what's important when you play the Steelers. Are you going to get a push up the middle? You know about Highsmith, and a great job.
Reddick working on the right side against Terrence Steele. Just speeds Dak Prescott.
But
Aiden Hutchinson, and it's really been a heck of a matchup on the outside with Jawan Taylor. We talked to him last night. I said, how many interceptions in your lifetime have you had before that? He said, altogether. He goes, yeah.
Well, Daron Payne, when you watch him play, I'm telling you, he is just one of those guys. He's so big and strong, and you feel like you need to.
Quinnen Williams with Deion Dawkins, the left tackle, and it's just asking a lot. And so he's able to get it.
By putting Hutchinson in on the guard, Trey Smith, they're taking Jawan Taylor out of it. Here's the pressure one more time. He knew they were going to come back to these misdirection plays, sits there, throws the offensive lineman out of the way.
That's 2 plays in a row where they've run essentially at Marcus Peters and said he has to come up and force the play.
Bring the tight end across the formation here to try and pick up Hutchinson. But that's tough, right? You're trying to make them believe it's that inside run. Was just crunching on Parsons. He's going to go out and loop back under here, because he saw Jones stepping up, as we've seen all night long, to take off and run.
The lap of Josh.
Guy they just have to have show up this season. They really do. Mozzie Smith's still going to be a rookie, but they put.
And you can see him just coming right here, right off the edge, double teamed. It's the extra effort. Just doesn't quit. He's got a high.
Yeah, that's impressive. Take a look here, number 90. He doesn't go with the fake. And then he does a nice job going flat. So often we see...
But you get pure hustle out of Aiden Hutchinson. He'll never stop. And if he didn't just hustle all the way to the end of that, that ball is probably completed. Force Patrick Mahomes. But they're not picking up stunts. You can see the twist and the stunt. So you're going to see him try and push the tackle out and then take that direct line back into the quarterback. Again, they're so worried about these edge players that sometimes they can get on. Well, you're going to get him ripping off the edge, and then Daniel Jones actually does a pretty good job of being patient back there, a little like a bullfighter. Wait, and then step up. But when you step up and...
As soon as Joe Burrow's looking, he's on his horse because the pressure's there. And Myles Garrett is...
What the heck? Linville Joseph is going around the center, and Joe Burrow's going back about 4 yards from there. Watch this shot put.
Yeah, he looks this off and doesn't realize on his blind side this, like at the last split second.
Armstrong working on the right tackle, Lane Johnson. You don't see Lane Johnson give up many pressures or sacks. He's one of the best right tackles in the league. But
anytime you get this game going, it can be awfully tough on those offensive linemen. They think they have it picked up. That pick tough, though, when you have...
Going to take Bosa, and he pretty much whiffs on him.
This time, Sean Desai shows single high, and then they get out of it. Dak Prescott has nowhere to go with the ball. You see Dean working, Zach Martin, Fletcher Cox working.
Watch him redirect here. Runs his spin move, gets chipped by Barkley, and then spins out of it. Takes a great angle to cut off DeVito.
You're going to see Simmons. He's down here at right defensive end, and he just wins with speed. Jordan Mailata, the left tackle.
And he was everywhere that night. It's been a long time since I've seen an individual.
He took that out of play. Anton Harrison has got to slow him down at least a little bit. And he got Usain Bolt, the defensive lineman, because there's absolutely no run threat whatsoever, nor should there be at this stage.
Every single play. And you're going to see right here, there's another one where he's got triple team. And who's the guy that makes the tackle on the check down to Kenneth Walker? It's Myles Garrett retracing and chasing down.
That was his first of the day. Defense.
Well, and Hendrickson, I mean, he's the guy that can't lose. He's got 6 sacks in his last 4 games.
For Boye Mafe coming off the edge right here. He's going to go right inside DeJuan Jones.
Tremendous job by Chubb. He's fighting. They're bringing pressure here. And Chubb just fights it. He just comes inside. Fight. Look at that. He's almost getting hold.
And Michael Hoyt, though, he's the one who starts this, KB. He wins quick, and that's what forces Dak Prescott.
Ekwonu on the left-hand side of the line here. Watch this initial bump into the head right there. Knocks Ekwonu.
Watch Crosby on this. Just shove Trent Brown aside.
Able to have Smoot go outside, and look at him. Smoot really occupies 2 blockers. Yeah, he wanted to throw the fade to Metcalf, wasn't there. And Charles Cross doing a nice job, but Geno Smith actually spun right into the pressure.
This is a matchup that literally can just win the football game for you by itself.
Go maximum protection, because now they want to try.
we always get excited to watch. Where's he going to bounce around when he's a pass rusher? But how quick is he?
Bosa in there as well. That's going to be the key for this Chargers defense.
Uncharacteristically, we mentioned to Myles Garrett. Watch him here. This little spike inside. That's the initial penetration.
You could tell that Epinesa just beat him to the punch and around the corner. And I think
now watch, take a look here. He's kind of right in the way of McCaffrey. He slows McCaffrey's release.
Formation and extra tackle. That's Jake Curhan, and he came over to the opposite side. He's normally their right tackle.
Passed off the ball. He's really been a difference maker. He's had a heck of a year.
I mean, how cool is this to get number 100 in a 2-minute situation just with pure effort?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what this guy's been doing for 16 years. It's cool to see.
A contract holdout. Look at this force right here.
I mean, I thought it was a screen initially.
All night long, it's Big 98, Max Crosby.
Well, and the one thing about it, too, Joe, when you watch it, and this isn't unique to the Green Bay Packers, every team that comes in, all the things that they have tried to do tonight to slow him down, and yet nothing.
Relentless in his pursuit of the quarterback. It's a chip by the tight end. The tackle's waiting for him. And a little spin move to the inside right as Bryce Young.
Of Anderson coming off the edge right down here. Now watch this. Bam! that is.
He left the game earlier. They got Thayer Munford in there at right tackle. It's one-on-one, no help. And Rashawn Gary does what Gary does.
He didn't even get his hands on him in terms of that, because as Watt goes, he's able to go underneath him with not much ability.
New England 30.
Granderson just dominates Trent Brown on this one. He jumps to the inside. Brown is going to the outside, knowing it's an outside.
There's nobody really on the line of scrimmage, and so you're going to set up Parsons with a running start, almost like a receiver. So difficult to try and block some.
Play outside, or he can play in here. And what a nice job there. Just sudden off the line of scrimmage and finishing.
They step forward big, and the first guy to force it is number 90, TJ Watt. Gets underneath Daniel Faalele.
Right to that area. That's not a dance block. That is shoulder pads down.
A lot of press because of how great he played. In fact, that's why they cut Randy Gregory.
Defense, who's 9th in the NFL in scoring defense and 11th in yards, and only giving up 300 yards.
Nice little stunt right down here at the bottom. Got guys coming off here. There's Carter off the edge inside.
He's just got to give better help. He ends up knocking Hassan Reddick actually wide and just makes his rush that much easier. Matthew Stafford had no choice even to throw. But we haven't called Hassan Reddick's name a lot today. He just beats Havenstein around the edge and just continues.
I mean, he's just one of those guys. You're going to block him with a tight end? I don't think so. Just rips through the tight end shoulder.
This is a tough matchup to the inside. Sweat's going to end up getting his hand on the football, but reason he's able to make that play.
You know, it's so frustrating, and Hargrave has been such a great addition to this team. But if you're Mike McCarthy and you come out and you decide you're going to...
It's just a rookie. He's trying to hold on for dear life against a very underrated defensive end. People talk a lot about Chase Young.
Sacks on this drive, one by Jordan, that one by Carl Granderson.
A lot of Greg, you know, you see, look at him right there on Donald. He's the guy that.
Zach Allen just gets inside pressure here on Lincoln Tomlinson. Just basically runs right around him. Zach Wilson looking right, has no chance to know this is coming. Smartly gets on that ball.
By Billings and his quickness. Watch here, he works to the left and just loses his balance. And I tell you what, Billings does flash on film.
You look at where he started. They're going to try to double him. They're going to try to put a tight end on him. So what do? They run a game, and he comes all the way around, and yet he's still able.
Free just changing right here. There he is. Look at him in the backfield, trying to pull around to the outside. He just.
Well, here he is, right in front of you. Hendrickson making the move, getting to the quarterback, almost having him, and Josh Dobbs does a.
You try and run at him, and that doesn't work. So you try and run away from him. And then they chase you down from behind. We're going to see two of those kind of players.
Dana coming from the outside.
On a 3rd and short, what do you need? Quick penetration. You mentioned it. Daquan Jones gets that quick penetration, allows his buddies to rally to the foot.
And here's Christian Wilkins. He's on the side, but watch the penetration that Christian Wilkins gets inside. Bam, beats the first guy. Gray is like, I don't remember signing up for this. That guy's too.
Now is a 49er. They can just rotate these guys through and
because they want to take a shot. So they're going here, they're going motion across. They're putting two tight ends to block him, and they're not able to do it. It's basically a two-man.
Is the 38-yard line, so you'd be looking at about a 56-yard field goal.
Myles Garrett, you see him with the speed coming off the edge, and that's one.
I don't know what you do about this guy, but he has just been a nightmare for everybody. He holds the record, at least tied with Michael Strahan for sacks. Watch this inside move. He loves to set up to the outside, full arms extended. And
look at the matchup. They move Chris Jones, normally an interior player. They put him on the first-round rookie, 58 Darnell Wright, and that's just a tough match.
Disaster for the Titans as they come up empty. Just, Dillard on Garrett.
So suddenly inside, Forsythe barely got a hand on him, and he just envelops.
I don't know how you're supposed to stop this as an offensive tackle.
Especially when he gets a jump start. He kind of had a...
Bellinger's got to get down and anticipate that right there. I mean, the one thing, Bosa doesn't even think. And this is the beauty of being in third down and rushing four. You don't have to blitz.
His career, and is just a powerful force against the run.
Number 99. He gets a fast start out of the blocks. And just gets a finger on that.
11th year, 6'3", 327 pounds, 2.5 career sacks. He keeps playing because he can do that. Anticipating a quick throw because of the fact that he was getting single block. So, it's got to be a quick throw. He was sitting there almost looking at Pickett. If you are the primary pass rusher, you got to take on two before you're allowed to even think about the quarterback slip pass there, then go chase the quarterback.
Just watch him here. Watch the hand use. Watch the get off first and foremost. Watch the hand use. Watch him slap down that arm and then run the hoop, as they call it, and get his feet. Really from that angle.
Remember last week, Sauce, he had what looked like a pick six opportunity.
Well, here you're going to see they got Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett on one side. So now, listen, Tennessee has given up pressure off of that left side.
He was just late getting out of his stance, and Highsmith just blew right by him. That is not exactly. You're going to get the crisscross. First of all, we'll talk a little bit about Crosby coming back inside on the loop.
Williams, 95. You're going to see him get through the double team and right here. C.J. Mosley. But it starts with the pressure up front, and of course,
getting attention is a good thing, but this is a rare opportunity here.
Usually beats you to the outside. Here they use a little twist, move him back to the inside, and he beats John Runyon.
Aaron Donald in the middle, going to wrap all the way around. He can thank really good coverage, but look at the ability, look at the speed, look at the quickness. You don't see defensive ends.
Way from the three-man side, so he gets the one-on-one. Lowe's had his hands full, even though Parsons doesn't get credited with the sack.
And just watch him make people miss. I mean, that is tough when you've got people pulling out.
It's hard to throw a Hail Mary when you need a little bit of time, and Harris goes right by Rashid.
It's Hutchinson who's getting in there quickly, but this time it's Harris. 53, good inside move, and really only thing that...
A little bit of a shoulder, but Thibodeau, who got off to a slow start last year, came on strong at the end. Pretty good job. Number 5 right there at the bottom. Boy, they need him to get going.
Inside out. Just watch it right here. Look at what happens to center Drew Dahlman as he just gets pushed back in the pocket.
Sometimes T.J. Watt looks like Usain Bolt coming out of the blocks. You just wonder, he barely... Guy that you have to stop if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers is Max Crosby. You're going to see him moving around. He is relentless.
There's Micah Parsons. You got to find out where he's at. You have James Conner on him.
No, exactly. Without this, you don't have to flush out. You're standing in the middle. He just beats us center one-on-one, which is not easy to do.
Nick Bosa off the edge. Boom. Gives him the outside hint. Swim move inside. Right in the quarterback's lap immediately.
Just track Micah Parsons through this play and watch everything that he does. The relentless pursuit to the football. He's back inside, sees the quarterback break. Now he's in track mode, and Damone Clark comes up.
Watch Crosby come up, and Pickett is going to do something here to throw the ball. Watch this. He's going to think he can get there. Crosby gets there first. He jumps.
Games for this team, and then right here, it's like, all right.
Feels him the speed coming off the edge.
Look at where he's lined up, Jim. Inside over a guard.
He said, I want to just be Defensive Player of the Year. I don't want to put it.
Last year, of course, 10.5 sacks. You can see he's almost just easing his way up, respectful.
That's exactly. Watch what he does here. I mean, he just displaces the young tight end.
Just so quick inside. He just makes a brilliant move right here and gets right around.
Yeah, he is such a big body right there inside. And look at the hands, the extension, and then your ability to get off. Gardak just right here on the end of the line of scrimmage, just going to use that speed. Look at the burst, hands, and then the dip underneath, and relentless.
Watch this spin move as he's working against Jackson up the field. He's behind Tua. The only way he's going to get to him is to spin back.
The problem is you leave the big man, Jordan Davis, all alone, one-on-one against Cleveland. You could see he's big, but he's...
If you're going to beat him inside when he's trying to reach you hard outside, you better go ahead and make the play. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Carl
splits. You're able to get inside, and guess who's right involved in that play?
Nowhere for Howe to go with the football. And then you see Cooper coming around the edge.
Guys usually working around those tackles. Here, with that blitz there from Cunningham, it allowed Sweat to work back.
They're going to say a fumble that's recovered by Tampa Bay. And I think it's going to get overturned.
Yeah, they try and go deep here in the third and short situation. And again, Jadeveon Clowney just all over the field today.
And this is a screen pass, so it's not the worst thing for Brown to allow him to get back there. You want to kind of slow him a little more than that, but
this is great effort, right? Extending the play, missing the first time, then coming back around.
Incredibly high level. He's done it for many years, and right here after the Jets.
You're going to see Edwards. He's just going to get penetration right in the backside and then just play downhill, and that play had no shot.
For a guy who missed all of training camp, you did mention it earlier, and he said, hey, I missed the guys, but my legs are free.
Goes in the zone read, and one of them is just attack the quarterback.
Right tackle off. Watch this move. Clubs the hands off, gets the flag.
But Highsmith, who's been outstanding, he's the one who really...
Derek Barnett is going to beat the left tackle, Jerron Christian. They did a great job of taking care of Will Anderson
on Purdy. Moved him off his spot. He couldn't really get into the throw. You'll see.
Hey, it's a screen, so the ball should never be sacked. Throw it in the dirt, right at the ground. Right there. Throw it. Throw it down. Throw it again. Not a missed throw. It's because the great Chris Jones.
Spin move that he's been developing. One of the reasons that he has been so effective is that move right there has led to him having...
And he throws an absolute dot across the middle of the field.
It's a huge play by Cansey. One of the quicker young players we see in the league, and what a move he put on the outside against Glasgow. But we have serious... Watch the little jump in the air and swat down. This is an Aaron Donald move, and they've all stolen it.
They were really excited about having him back, and he's showing it right now.
Move, and this is what the Miami Dolphins knew they could not win doing here tonight.
Here we go. I'll mention him, Spiro. Myles Garrett. Look at that little move that he puts on Ryman, who has been solid. But remember,
watch Jalen Carter here just simply overwhelm inside. One-on-one, there you go, against Isaiah Wynn, puts him on his back.
Right over, doesn't touch anybody, perfectly legal, gets his hands up and makes a play.
That just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make some things.
An illegal crack back there, and he's still making plays in the backfield. So far, Reddick, if Jalen Phillips gets back to his form, it is going to be a real problem trying to pass protect.
First of all, just... great recognition by Garrett. And then I thought Tomlinson, look at number 94. I thought he was going to see it. If he just turned around, he doesn't see the ball sitting in the air. He would have had a chance.
You're going to beat Miami. Right there. It is all about these edge players. Can they take on blocks and make plays?
You said coming in, and he's really shown to be more than serviceable.
Because he gets a lot of singles, and he's learned how to take advantage of them. This is Karlaftis against the right tackle, Austin Jackson.
Rasheed Walker, you see he comes off. Now look, he's going to kind of turn around. DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean.
Here with this pressure and flushing out Matthew Stafford because Cooper Kupp was standing all by himself.
And he wasn't able to get it. But I mean, he beat him. He beat him right off the snap.
Tonight for the Dolphins on defense, Christian Wilkins. Now, we knew he was one of their better players coming into the night, but he has just been dominant. He's anticipating these offside runs, and then when he gets one-on-one in a pass rush, not only does he get the sack, not only does he get the fumble, he gets the fumble recovery and gives you a little dance on top of it.
Gets his incentive now into the double-digit sack column. Jones.
As Max Crosby gets up the field so fast, right? So he goes right past the first guy, forces him to step up along with Kuntz, and then pile him out.
One guy you have to account for, and this happened last week. Morris giving up too much pressure. Kuntz had 3 sacks for the Raiders.
But you better take care of Micah Parsons.
Watch Chris Jones right here. Boop, swim move. And he's staring right.
Big as you can think he is. He's 6'4", 275 pounds, and moves like he's 240.
We got to go. And sometimes they clap. The defense knows that ball is about to come up, and sometimes they...
And Myles Garrett again against Becton, one-on-one. There's the bend we talk about when he goes to the outside. It's so tough.
How about Preston Smith working against the Vikings' best, Christian Darrisaw on the outside? Just a little arm over and get...
That are known for their ability to rush the quarterback. I always what stands out to the elite ones like Myles Garrett is what they do against...
Touch high, but this is a core play.
Defensive lineman, watch right side of your screen. Montez Sweat, watch the hand wipe. Oh, that is such a high level. But still, remember, the footing wasn't able to corner as well as you normally would.
Make him drive and be consistent. Look how powerful Quinnen Williams is. Able to get through Posick right there and flush him out.
Trade and blows, but watch him beat the seal block inside by Cole Kmet, number 85. Cole's got to pin him down.
Fighting the clock offensively, so they want to get the ball down the field. Jadeveon Clowney, he just runs right back by McKivitz, who...
What a job here by DeMarcus Lawrence. He says, I don't know who's going to block me. I'm just going to take all 3 of you Dolphins players into the back.
At least give yourself a chance. Now, they got 4th down. They still got another play to try.
Here's Hendrickson again working on Dan Moore, the left tackle, and Mason Rudolph.
Here he comes. Everybody knows who's the main threat.
That gives us the call. You're right on the money.
Here, Jonah Williams is going to take him around the quarterback. But what does Nevers gives up on a play? He never all the way into the backfield, and he does this as well as anybody too. Not Mitch. Here's Highsmith working on the other side against Orlando.
Well, you see that with McKivitz having to...
Starts with pressure. Highsmith working against the tight end.
The pressure's up on you and the ball's got to come out. They're going to have to double team Chris Jones. He is going to light.
They'd want to exploit. Osiris Torrance, he's a good young player, but I don't care how long you're playing in this league. One-on-one is an...
Trust Slater to be able to win. Malcolm Kuntz is a good player, but you got to win that matchup, and you lose there on 3rd.
The tackle, Charles Cross, he's pulling. And
he's such a handful, no matter whether you run at him.
Definitely surprises me, but I like the confidence. Put the ball in your quarterback's hands. Let's try to put it down the field.
In the backfield. There you go. Tight end on Calais Campbell.
Take a look. Williams goes right through the middle, and he's going to get there when you have to take that 2nd and 3rd hitch.
Great job with the hands right there. Slap the hands down.
Standing up and celebrating, but he is getting better and better. And Mike, you'll remember in the draft, they didn't think he would.
Well, you know, watch just this quickness at 300 and whatever, 35 pounds, to be able to move like that inside and to have the...
Watch him at the top and watch the effort. Recognition of a screen, balls out, and look at his eyes, and then look at the closing speed. Never takes a play off.
Here is Derek Brown right here. Watch the power as he takes, I mean, just unreal. Kyle Hinton takes him into...
What about Trayvon Walker? 1st overall pick, right? Maybe we shouldn't have taken him. I don't know. Is he that good? Well, tonight, check this out. There's his sack, 6th of the year so far for him. He has just been relentless. The word now in the NFL is you got to strain. He has been straining all night long and moving these tackles. And Mike Caldwell told me, he said, we go as a defense as Josh Allen.
Well, he's just going to be running a game right here inside. with his buddy Walker, and they're trying to pass that off on the right side.
You wonder how many more opportunities he's going to have after today. Gets on the upfield shoulder of Johnson. He's got the jersey.
A little gap play pass, little token fake to McCaffrey, and Jaron Reed just blows up the field.
That's when you know that you're really settling in as an NFL quarterback, that you don't feel everything thundering around you, especially.
Extra seconds, milliseconds to work with.
Yeah, he pushes McGovern all the way right back toward Allen and get.
Here comes Mad Max off the edge. Oh, look at how violent and fast that spin move happens.
Right into the hands of Leonard Williams. You can see Reed and Williams are almost acting as offensive blockers.
Brandon Staley does. They move him right over the center. Okay, you want to double team us with wide receiver, with the tight end, you're going to do.
By Lamar Jackson, and if you're going to sit there that long, look what Aaron Donald's been dealing with today. He's got, we talk to offensive coaches, we're trying to get forehands on.
Yes. He sees that as an insult. You're going to block me with one person? I'll end up at your quarterback.
Trying to get him working against Morgan Moses. They're sliding everybody out that way. Kevin Zeitler.
Striking to the face. Now watch. Bosa's working. Evan Brown, the center. We showed you earlier working the right guard, Anthony Bradford, and just the ability to move him along this defensive line, create matchups.
Well, Max Crosby is just in relentless pursuit. Right past O'Neal. Oh, he almost tried. He's going to have to run the hoop all the way around.
And watch, when he rushes wide, Karlaftis comes back underneath and gets a bunch of late sacks. And he's rushing well, Karlaftis.
Watch, take a look. I mean, as that ball's come up, he's beating Tyler Biotish. He's splitting that double team between the center Biotish and the...
Not even a move. This is every once in a while. Chris Jones will do something that you go Aaron Donald or whoever you want to talk about. You just can't win any faster than what Chris Jones...
But Aaron Donald has other plans for this play. He gets into the backfield immediately, forces Joe.
Well, the fake is going to be to Connor, and Watt doesn't fall for the fake. He runs right by Connor and is able to get Kyler Murray from behind.
Running clock, well explained, but here's Aaron Donald breaking through. He's getting double teamed, and then
I got to be out here on an island against Parsons in a 2-minute offense. The tight end chips.
Watch Aaron Donald, number 99. He just doesn't quit. I mean, he gets double teamed all the time. It's still
on the left tackle, Jordan Mailata. This time he's at the top of your screen, back against Lane Johnson. We've seen Lane Johnson kind of have his way, but this time, even though Lane Johnson's
he's been something else, hasn't he? Rashawn Gary on the outside, 3 sacks in that game on Thanksgiving, and he is just relentless. Misses the first time, stays with it, comes back, gets a piece of it along with Kenny Clark.
Talked about that gave him some problems last week. Instead, he didn't redirect the
Badgers. He's lined up there, and there's the quickness. I mean, these defensive linemen.
As soon as you bring in the backup tackle, you bring in your #1 draft pick and cut him loose. Van Ness this time got the hands off and was able to run down. Really did. Preston Smith with a good rush right off the bat, but he was stymied in the beginning. Had to sort of give it a second go and just couldn't.
Just so sudden and quick with the balance and then the closing speed.
Having himself a heck of a season. He's coming off this edge. And look, McDermott almost looks inside as if he doesn't expect Khalil Mack to blitz. He initially took his set, then went inside.
To Connor. Froholt steps on his foot. Connor doesn't get the ball.
And then there are clean sacks, and then there are these. Well, They even have a tight end over to that side to help out.
Mentioned Van Ginkel. These are going to be the guys who are going to have to emerge at those outside linebacker spots, which in Vic Fangio's system, that's paramount.
Meetings about being back in the pocket and having 2 hands on the football. That's all fine and dandy until TJ Watt shows up.
Well, when you watch this defensive unit here for Detroit, effort, intensity, no one greater than Aiden Hutchinson, him, Alex.
The pressure for Green Bay continues to tell the story in a 3-sack day for Rashawn Gary.
He is a big man right here, and I've even made him even bigger. So, I mean, he's just so powerful, and I'm telling you, at 330-plus pounds, he has...
Watch him right here. He's barely even looking.
You got Parsons over here, so all the attention goes there. 3 guys, and
got 3 guys there.
It's going to help you
around and make a play. This offensive line, particularly the tackles, they don't handle it particularly well. Brian O'Neill, the right tackle.
And that doesn't happen. He's out of his stance, and what they did was they brought an extra rusher.
To the quarterback, just not enough time, but look at the power, look at him toss people. Then you are trying, there he is, to double team him. Now watch this. Just go ahead and split that double team really quick.
And it's Zach Allen. That was a huge pickup in the offseason, right, from Arizona.
Montez Sweat, he's just able to win against O'Neill. And
Clowney's so big and strong and long. Another one of these veteran guys. Look at the get off. He runs right through the block. The extension knocks it out.
On this defense, just like Aaron Donald brings, even when he doesn't get a sack, he makes you pay.
By the time he looks left and decides, okay, I wanted the rookie, he's not there, there's that offensive line.
Well, I gave Christian the big guy. Well, here comes the emphasis on Benito, number 42, but those last 3 plays.
Playing against Lamar, he said, hey, we're going to turn Morgan Fox and Khalil Mack loose. Everybody else is responsible for Lamar Jackson running. He gets turned.
Gets around to the outside. Smith and Taylor double teaming him, but as Mahomes moves around, they lose that double team.
Having great outside linebackers, and he's got Chubb on one side and Phillips on the other, and we always equate.
He had a tremendous year with Philadelphia. Came over here. Now you're going to add him with Bosa. Yeah, Darrell Taylor is the guy who will line up very wide. He's a speed rusher, and he just flies up the field. And then when Purdy came around,
his hands are so good. Watch the inside hands. Now he underneath, push you back in the backfield, then to be able to disengage
to the outside.
They pretty much dominated.
Yes, they had. I mean, the 2 missed field goals were huge.
Get around the edge on Christian and then hits the spin move and counter move, and then
one look and go to another and make you react to it and confuse the offensive lineman, create some one-on-one match.
They're quick, strong, and explosive. So Justin Herbert holds the ball, gets a good matchup inside, spread out. Try to run the ball against favorable boxes where there are not a lot of guys in there.
He was up against the play clock. You saw him clapping. Anytime that ball gets snapped, you got to wonder whether everyone's ready for that ball to be hiked or.
And who else but Aaron Donald coming right down the pipe.
Creates a little one-on-one opportunity, and this is the matchup we wondered about. Without Ronnie Stanley, McCary in there for him. Tries to find Irv Smith. By the time you see how he looks right, by the time he tries to find his check down, he's in no man's land. And
a BK before, who now has at least a half a sack in 8 straight games and a full sack in 6 straight.
Why do the Ravens find guys like Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney?
And see if you can get out of it. Here comes Garrett, 95 from one side. On the other side is Okoronkwo, number 54.
Here we go. Hunter coming right off the edge, and he's going against the best here for the Denver Broncos. And Garrett Bowles escapes late. Russell Wilson.
Watch his shoulders. Watch how square he keeps them to the line of scrimmage. That allows him to put his foot down and take that.
And what Cleveland did was they blitzed the nickel defensive back, and created an opening and a one-on-one for Myles Garrett. TJ Watt, such a fierce rusher to begin with, but Hudson retreats so much that Watt is right back into the face of.
And then works back to the inside with that blitz from Hamilton and just wins one-on-one. Just an Olay by Volson, the left guard.
On the right side, coming all the way around the dish, number 52 in white, working on Rasheed Walker.